Azael, WSU, Wichita State's finest.
Yeah, one of the best Nesses and Clouds in the southern Kansas area, going against Chillydorf, who mainly attends the Oklahoma City locals. But his Ganondorf is something that's very frightening to see. Usually if you ask an Oklahoma player who's the best Ganondorf is in the state, most people are going to say it is going to be Chillydorf. And the thing about Ganon, you can't play scared. Like, you think like, oh, it's a low tier, I'll be perfectly fine. But if you're not ready for some of these actions, Ganondorf can be a very scary character. But hopefully, Azael has some experience with the Ganon matchup. I don't know if there's any Ganons in that Kansas area, but obviously a character like Ness, it should be something that you should be able to be handled fine.
There's not too many as far as the knowledge that I have, but I mean, like, Chillydorf, a really talented player. Azael still has to do the best that he can. The cover, but you cannot cover that F smash. That is the first stock here on this block.
I was about to say that magnet cancel is not going to work out. All of Ganon's moves, people say this is the worst time. Well, I'd say Brawl is the worst version of Ganon, but everyone talked about like Smash 4 Ganon. He was a bad character, but his moves were always scary, especially that up smash, even though he doesn't have it anymore.
And I mean, like, for the most part,
terrifying.
And for the most part, like, all low tiers in this game have that factor of they can just kill you in like any sort of scenario that benefits them the most. Right now, he's in disadvantage, but he ain't getting a lot. He's gonna get back. Maybe to center, still finding his way out of the corner. Gets the jab, still has the lead. Chillydorf rocking right now.
Yeah, one of the struggles Azael is going to have right now going up against this Ganondorf is with a character like Ness, even though you have that PK fire zoning abilities, you don't have anything of that mid-range space to push Ganon outside of that big blast that he has for those F tilts and those neutral airs. It's got to be something he's got to go like all in your face, or it's got to be full on zoning. And we're trying to see this mid-range from Aza. It's not working out for him at the moment.
Yeah, he's turning out to be just a little bit outside. That fair Nair is going to kill, excuse me. But yeah, he's trying to invade that space, almost like Ness just trying to fight his zoner. It's not doing the same sort of justice. Yeah. He is going to die.
Now, obviously, that bad recovery took his jump. One thing I've loved about Chillydorf, seeing him play in a bunch of locals and stuff, he knows how to conserve that energy, especially with a low tier when a lot of your jumps and your recovery options you have to conserve to the most abilities. Chillydorf has done a really good job with that in situations. And you see him using that up air to space out that down smash that Azael's really wanting. Unfortunately, that misinput of the Warlock punch is going to rack him up
kind of crazy, 100%. Man. And it's like the fact that he was trying, I don't know if that probably was a misinput. Side B going to kill him. Yeah. Even game, Aza just oppressing Ganon heavy, doesn't have a lot of buttons to really contest. Tries to get a punish over there, no luck, puts himself in the corner instead.
Yeah, you see Aza trying to get out that jump call out, the shield jump coming from Chillydorf, but he's not falling for it, and if anything, it's going to allow Chillydorf the opportunity to get an anti-air out with that Nair or an up air to put him in a very bad position. And without any percent taken so far, like, you're in a pretty bad state if you are Azael.
Yeah. He's doing a pretty good job here. He's still at 100. Oh, he made a tuck in his jump. There's the air dodge. Yeah, and no more Chillydorf. That's the game. 1-0 for Aza, and he had a really hard time. He found it. He found the spot that he needed to start taking. He took it, and that's what you need to do versus Ganondorf. That's what you need to do against most low tiers in general that have the recovery that he does. And he, again, took the opportunity, took the game.
It's just very unfortunate in the sense you got to think about sometimes if he didn't have those two misinputs on the second stock, how much it would have changed. That would have been a free. It felt like it was in Chillydorf's favor that entire time with a reverse 3-stock happening. But unfortunately, just because of a couple situations, you lost that stage advantage that you normally get.
Yeah. And Chillydorf has been doing a really good job, like, keeping the mid-range, like you did describe, kind of like a zoning aspect, even though Ganon is not a zoner, but he has to respect a lot of the moves. Game number 2 on Hollow, those moves that just end up being super polarizing, like PK Fire.
You could argue, I think the safe thing to say is that Ganon isn't necessarily a zoner, but he's very much a swordy when it comes to his attacks. Like, a lot of those kicks are disjoints, which make him super scary. You got to be either up in his face or very far away to avoid not getting hit by those sweet spots.
77% on the side of Chillydorf right now, trying to get an interaction, but multi-hits do not like him very much. And now we are going to town. 99%, still stuck in a not too bad situation. He almost finds center there. And he gets the corner. One more situation, a down smash, go to kill him, yep. Struggled with those on game 1, and there we go. See him now being very prevalent.
You saw him doing it earlier on game 1, trying to use that reverse up air to avoid getting hit. Oh, no.
Okay, he makes that back. We were both scared, man. I feel like a lot of people would be.
But you saw, I think one thing that Chillydorf has to learn very quickly, and what caused that first death, is you saw him in game 1. He was doing a lot of those reverse up airs to avoid basically breaking that disjoint that happened with the yo-yo. But because of the different stage layouts and different blast zones and stuff, it's something that he has to learn and adapt to on the fly, even though it is his stage pick.
Yeah, and I was about to say, this is his stage pick, and he is about to get obliterated. No resources, no nothing.
That's it.
And you are taken to your grave. Game number 2 goes to Azael.
Sub 50% too. That is very unfortunate for Chillydorf for a very quick game 2. With how close game 1 was, Azael is immediately pulling no strains. Basically, was very scared. Like, it was super close game 1, and then game 2 was just a wipeout.
Yeah, and I feel like having that shorter stage of Hollow just didn't benefit him. I want to know the thought process of, like, why he would go there. But at the end of the day, for the most part, like, go to a long stage, and if they did go back, whatever, you might just be writing your own obituary here. I might just be overestimating it. But we got small battlefield, not too bad of a stage choice.
Yeah, this is a stage that I think he likes a little more than PS2 if I was Ganondorf. But
And you are dead.
that's Ness.
That is Ness, and that is Ganon. That's what he's been dealing with since the last game. Really being, like, in his face and just showing him all sorts of action.
You have to consider a lot of those jump energies, and you saw, at least in that game 1, Azael has been very much predicting, like, this is where you're going to use your jumps, or force you to use your jumps. It makes it very unfortunate for Ganondorf to even make it back.
Oh, yeah. He has a stage injury right now, but he's still getting a little bit lit up. The move just hit. I forgot the name of it. But he's trying to go for him. Can he draw a circle to make it back? Oh, yeah, of course I am. Who am I trying to say he can't? PK Fire back in neutral. 122. Ganon can die here. Can die at most percents. Recovery here. Nice tech.
Nice shield tech or stage tech. Fortunately, not going to make a difference, as I believe that was a 0 to death
Yeah,
stomp right there.
13% away from a JV, but for the most part, if you can get this done with a 3-0 and a handshake, I would be very good in that same spot of Azael right now. But Chillydorf having a little bit more say in what he can. I believe that shield poke, the fair.
You got him in that, like, it's what we were talking about earlier. Like, Azael perfectly found that zone on where Ganondorf can't really do anything, especially when you're in disadvantage. Ganondorf's worst rate. That's what makes him the worst character in the game.
But at this point now, like, even though he's at 17%, he has a little bit of momentum going on. He just has to be careful. He can't let him get too far ahead.
Yeah,
and there's the PK Fire,
hit, that might be it.
Yes, he's dead. Sayonara. Azael, we're moving on to top 32 winners. Chillydorf will be having to climb a little bit more.
He has to play one more match to be able to go into that top 32 final stage of the bracket. And unfortunately, I don't know necessarily who that is going to be, but I believe we have a bit to find out.
Yeah, a lot of these sets are being decided right now, especially the sets in A2. I know that are, like, already going on off stream, unless they just called them and they're saving them. We have to, like, we always get, like, a visual cue for who we get, and I haven't gotten that yet. But regardless, good stuff to Azael, Wichita State's finest, getting a 3-0 victory over Chillydorf, who has been, like,